In this lesson today, we're going to be looking at fractions, decimals, and percents, and converting between the three. So the first word that we're going to talk about is percent, and the symbol for percent looks like this. It's a little slash mark with dots on top and bottom, with one dot on either side. And why do we say percent? If we break this into two parts, percent per 100. Cent means 100, so we're talking about per 100 is what we're talking about when we're talking about percents. And can a percent be greater than 100? It can. Yes. For example, 200% means twice as much. Because 100% would be a whole, 200% would be two wholes, or twice as much. So if we open up here, we're going to start with writing percents as fractions. And in order to write a percent as fraction, we take off the percent sign and write the number over 100. So we use 100 as the denominator. Per 100 means we're writing it over 100, and then we're going to simplify. So 3 steps. Take off the percent sign, write the number over 100, and then simplify. So an example here, 88% as a fraction in simplest form is 88. Take off the percent sign and put it over 100 using 100 as my denominator, and then simplify. I know that 4 goes into both of these, so I'm going to divide top and bottom by 4. 88 divided by 4 is 22, and 100 divided by 4 is 25, and so 22 over 25 is my fraction in simplest form. We can also write percents as decimals, and there are kind of two methods here. The first method is we can write this as a fraction over 100, take off the percent sign, and then write the fraction as a decimal. So, for example, 51%, we can write this as 51 over 100, or 51 hundredths, and we know that as a decimal, that fraction looks like 0 and 51 hundredths, or 0.51. Method number 2 would be to bounce the decimal 2 places to the left and take off the percent sign. So on 43%, the decimal's at the end of the 43, it's after the whole number here. We can move that decimal 2 places to the left, and when we do that, we get 43 hundredths as our decimal. You can pick either method. You can write it as a fraction and then read it and write it then as a decimal, or you can just move it 2 places to the left. I prefer moving 2 places to the left, but you are welcome to choose either method that you feel most comfortable with when you're writing percents as decimals. So the first thing that we've talked about so far today is percent, meaning per 100. Percents can be bigger than 100. Just means that it's bigger than a whole. And then we wrote percents as fractions by taking the percent sign off, writing it over 100, and then simplifying. Or writing percents as decimals. We looked at 2 methods. We could write it as a fraction and then as a decimal, or we could just move the decimal 2 places to the left to go from percent to decimal.